Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories on a Sunday as nature intended. Here we are up in the library, and I can tell you it is freezing up here at the moment. Perched on my lap, on my knee, is his derpy lurpiness. He's trying to get as much warmth out as me as he possibly can. What are we reading tonight? We are reading Ghost Stories of Scotland. Is it Ghost? No, Haunted Places of Scotland, which I've got to say is absolutely banging. Sorry, just got to clean my glasses. What are we drinking tonight? Well, we're on a double bill tonight, and also I have forgotten to go down and buy some. Oh, that's a bit fuzzy. That I'd forgotten to go down and buy some another bottle as a single grain. So, what are we drinking tonight, Derps? We are drinking Paul's Malt. This is from Beer 52 Roots Revival Session IPA, 4.2%, and it says. A bright and refreshing session pale ale brewed exclusively with Paul's malt, crafted from barley grown with regenerative farming methods that help reduce carbon. The malt lays a clean foundation for aromas of mandarin and honeydew, opening to crisp citrus and melon flavors, balanced by subtle biscuit and toffee notes. I like the sound of that. 4.2%. Smells lovely. I like the idea of honeydew, for I have drunk on honeydew, and I have lived on honeydew and drank the milk of paradise. Believe it or not, a Rush lyric. And what do you know? We haven't even read a story yet, and already we have a dead soldier. And Run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
And what are we washing it down with tonight? We are washing it down with some more of my homemade apple and blackberry gin, on account that I forgot to buy some scotch today. Anyway, now we've also got here, talking of honeydew, this is Beeble Original. This was a Christmas present from a couple of years ago. British honey spirit drink made with whiskey. And in fact, I don't know if you can see in there, there's it's like an Industrial Light and Magic special effect in there. It's this, I don't know where you're supposed to shake it up, but anyway. Shall we crack on mit the ghost stories? Because then I can go and have some supper, and that's it. So here we go. So Bracco, was it Bracco Castle? Oh, we'll do Borthwick Castle again. If we hadn't read it last time, Borthwick Castle, one of the most impressive castles in Scotland. Borthwick Castle is a massive looming U-plan tower house rising to 110 foot high, with walls up to 14 foot thick in places. The Great Hall is one of the finest in the country and has a massive canopied fireplace. The castle, now a hotel, was apparently recently put up for sale for offers of more than £3 million. The castle was built by Sir William Borthwick in 1430, which is 2:30. The tomb of Borthwick is in nearby Borthwick Church, which is open to the public, and there are 2 stone effigies thought to be the best preserved in Scotland, and to be of Sir William and his wife Beatrice Sinclair, daughter of the Earl of Orkney. The effigies were painted and gilded when first carved. Mary, Queen of Scots, and James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell, stayed at the castle in 1567. Bothwell was Mary's 3rd husband. We know her hobbies. But Mary had to flee disguised as a page boy as her enemies attempted to besiege her there. It is recorded that her apparition, garbed as a man, has been seen at Borthwick. The second, nastier tale concerns a local girl called Anne Grant, who was apparently made pregnant by one of the Borthwick lords. The poor young woman, heavy with child, was seized, slashed across the abdomen with a sword, and then left to die in her own blood in what is now the Red Room. A modern visitor to the castle reported how he had seen a vision of the murder, as did a previous owner. Manifestations in the Red Room are said to include the temperature suddenly dropping, unexplained scratchings being heard on the inside of the door, as well as disembodied footsteps on the turnpike stair from the room. There is also an account, there is also an account of a heavy fire door opening by itself one night, and during a business conference, weeping and wailing was apparently heard coming from an empty part of the castle. It is believed that one of the previous owners had the Red Room exorcised, but apparently to no effect. A third ghost is said to be that of a chancellor of the castle, who was executed by being burnt to death after having been caught embezzling money from the Borthwicks. And there is a footnote here. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in January 2007 by Ghost Finders, www.ghostfinders.co.uk/Borthwick_castle.html, and in February 2008 by Scottish Society of Paranormal Investigation and Analysis, www.sspia.co.uk. I think it's time for a beer and a bump, Derps. So this is this subscription beer, Paul's Malt. There's the box art. There's the art. But I love the art on all these beers. They're absolutely beautiful. So Slange. Smells lovely. I think that's one that will have to grow on me. Having said that will have to grow on me. Hopefully not like a bloody cyst. So anyway, Bracco Castle. What do you reckon, Derps? Bracco Castle? Bracco Castle is a plain tower house of the 16th century, to which has been added extensions and additions, now making the building U-plan. Bracco was a property of the Graham Earls of Montrose, one of whom was created a baronet of Bracco in 1625. The last of the Grahams to live here died in 1790, and the property later passed to the Smythes. There are fine policies around the castle, as well as woodland and a partly walled garden. The old part of Bracco Castle is said to be haunted, and the doors are reputed to open by themselves. Dogs are said to become unusually fearful on the staircase. I'm going to have to turn the light up here a bit. That's better. I can barely see what I'm reading here. That's much better. Right, Derps. You can see him perched there on my lap, on my knee, digging his claws in. Cheers, me beers. Oh, Slange. Oh, I do know how to make a good apple and blackberry gin, he said modestly. Braemar Castle. Located in a rugged mountainous area of Scotland, Braemar Castle is an impressive L-plan tower house that stands in a strategic position. The castle was built by the Erskine Earls of Mar in 1628 and has a massive iron yett gate and an unlit and unventilated pit prison, which measures just 12 by 6 foot. The property later passed to the Farquharsons when the Erskines were forfeited following the 1715 Jacobite Rising, with whose descendants it remains. Oh, the beer hiccups, do apologise. The castle was captured and burnt out by John Farquharson of Inverary. See that entry. The Black Colonel. His bogle is said to haunt Braemar Castle, leaving a lighted candle, perhaps as a reminder of his torching of the place. One story is that Braemar is visited by the ghost of a young blonde-haired woman. A couple on their honeymoon were staying in the castle during the second half of the 19th century. Early in the morning, the husband left to go hunting, and I don't like them already. But his wife woke later and, not knowing about the hunting, believed she had been abandoned. The silly lass was rather innocent and thought that she had so displeased her new husband that he had spurned her. In despair, the poor woman threw herself from the battlements. Her ghost is said to haunt the castle, searching for her husband. The apparition reputedly was sighted in 1987, and it is thought that she only appears to those who have recently been married. Ghostly footsteps, the light tread of a woman, have also been reported. Oh, fancy not getting any scotch today, Derp. That's your fault. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. I'm just going to have a look at this. Does this need to be... It says our mission is to create a business where the bees are at the heart of every decision we make. We pride ourselves on our sustainable production and give as much back to our local ecosystems as we possibly can. It does say shake me. There we go. We can only use the honey from our hives in the Cotswolds to create Beeble Original. And as we grow, we want to work with more local beekeepers across the country so that everyone's Beeble is locally sourced. Oh, so it's the Cotswolds. Well, it does say shake me, so it's just as well, because that is, I don't know if you can see that, but honestly, looks like the clouds from Flash Gordon. It's which were done in a water tank. But anyway, let's crack on, Derp. Breda. The present mansion of Breda, pronounced Brida, with the emphasis on the second syllable. Brida. Bridda. Oh, Bridda, right, okay. The present mansion of Bridda, with the emphasis on the second syllable, is a baronial pile dating from the end of the 19th century. It has been refurbished as part of the development, and houses have been built in the grounds. The adjoining Broadhow House, which dated from the 17th century, was demolished in 1963. The lands were held by the Forbeses, but they were sold to the Macleans in 1892, and they built the present mansion. Breda was reputedly haunted, although the activity appears to have taken place in the now gone Broadhow House. And that's the end of that story. Oh, these are all beautifully short, Derp. Absolutely incroyable. So, slange me bar. Ah, cheers, me beers. Bridge Castle. Standing on a rocky outcrop, Bridge Castle consists of a substantial tower of 3 stories and an attic, with later additions and extensions. The property was owned by the Stuarts at one time, but was sold to William, Lord Livingstone in the 1580s. In the 1580s, the Livingstone family became Earls of Linlithgow, but were forfeited for their part in the Jacobite Rising of 1715, and the property passed to the Hopes. The castle was remodelled and enlarged in 1871. The castle was remodelled and enlarged in 1871, was used as a hotel for some years, but has since been divided into separate residences. The building is said to be haunted by a grey lady. Cough it up, Derps. Oh, astonished me. What are we up to? 17 minutes. Good Lord. Oh. Bridgend House Hotel, Callander. Bridgend House Hotel, a long mock Tudor timbered building, is located in Bridgend, the oldest part of the holiday town of Callander. There was once a ferry here over the River Teith, but a bridge was built after the Jacobite Rising of 1745 to 46. The house may date from as early as the 17th century, although it had to be rebuilt after being damaged when a Spitfire crashed into it during World War II. The hotel is said to be haunted. The story goes that the building was constructed over what had been a public path to the meadows, and the ghostly apparitions of people who had used the route can still be seen, although now wandering through the hotel's chambers, corridors, and walls. Oh, settle down, cat, for goodness sake. He's a bit fidgety tonight. What do you reckon, Derps? Shall we have some more of my... Yeah, I think we'll have some more of my apple and blackberry gin. In fact, I think that's going to be the last of the apple and blackberry gin for tonight. Oh, no, we've still got some more there. So apple and blackberry gin or apple and blackberry vodka? I can't remember. No, apple and blackberry vodka. That's a thing. Anyway, cheers, me beers. Oh, delicious. Slange. Delicious. Right. Where is my bottle opener, Derp? Because we need the bottle opener for, oh, goodness sake. Right, you are going to have to get off my knee for a second whilst I go and look for the bottle opener, because we need the... Right, off we go. Thank you. Bear with, folks. What do you do on Sunday night? I don't know. I tuned in to watch Sunday Night Ghost Stories on a Sunday, and instead I was treated to the sight of a confused man from Dudley wandering around looking for a bottle opener. Where's the bottle opener gone, Dirt? Oh, that'll have to do. Oh, whoops. Caught up in my wiring here. You watch. I'll sit down, and then the other bottle opener will just suddenly turn up out of nowhere. I need to blow my nose, so we will put you on pause for a second whilst we clear the airways. So we'll be back in a few seconds. Right. So to the second part of tonight's beer is going to be the Hatherwood Porter, dark, sleek, and malted. This porter, it's only £1.29 from Lidl, is dark, silky, and deeply delicious. The full-blooded, muscular blend has a coffee roast bitterness and a distinctive toffee flavour, creating this sleek and smoky porter. I must remember to get some more of this because, apart from the fact it also has these natty little Union flag beer caps at the end. But what did I do with that other blessed bottle opener? You watch. As soon as we finish the show tonight, I will find it. Story of my life at the moment. Right. That is the magnificent Rush bottle opener to go with the magnificent Rush beer glass, to go with the magnificent Rush hoodie that I'm wearing tonight. So I think you may be able to discern from this information that I may be a bit of a Rush fan. So, oh, and we got some fan mail. Goodness me, we are popular tonight. What are we up to? 23 minutes. Let's just go back to... All right, let's crack on. Because we're dirt hungry tonight. Bridgend, Dalkeith. Bridgend, to the south of Dalkeith, is the scene of a poisoning and a ghost story, a murky plot worthy of Agatha Christie's great Belgian sleuth. Charles B. Hutchinson owned a house at Bridgend, and on the 3rd of February 1911, he celebrated his silver wedding anniversary with a group of friends. The party was going well until the coffee was served, at which point most of the guests and the hosts fell violently ill. That night, Hutchinson died, and one of his guests, Alexander Clapperton, a grocer and wine merchant from Musselburgh, perished soon afterwards, while others were made seriously ill. Tilt the camera up a bit. Suspicion soon fell on John Hutchinson, Charles' son, as he was a chemist and he had served the coffee. It was found that the party had been poisoned using prussic acid, but before John could be taken into custody, he poisoned himself at a hotel in Guernsey in the presence of the police and died in a few moments. The motive for the poisoning appears to be that John was a rival in the affections for a local girl with Clapperton. John's ghost is then said to have begun haunting the house at Bridgend. Just rereading that. Oh, right. Okay. Let's try some of this Hatherwood. I know I've had it before. The beer, that is. There it is. It's Hatherwood Porter. Absolutely lovely stuff. Let's wait for it to... No, let's not wait. Cheers, me beers. And as I said, in the magnificent Rush beer glass, courtesy of viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. God bless you. Right. Brim's Castle. Brim's Castle is a ruinous L-plan tower house of 3 stories and a garret. which has a walled courtyard with a moulded gateway enclosing ranges of later buildings. The lands were a property of the Sinclairs of Dunbeath, and although the castle was occupied into the 20th century, it is now derelict and roofless. Brims is said to have a white lady, the ghost of the daughter of James Sinclair of Utterscoy. The attractive young woman was the lover of Patrick Sinclair of Brims, but the story goes that he tired of her, murdered her, and then hid the body. And then became the Conservative MP for the area. Or no, I'm making that up. He became the Reform kind of candidate for the area, more likely. What are we up to? 27 minutes. I mean, what can I say, folks? Reform. What an absolute shower. Anyway, cheers, me beers. I didn't tune into Sunday Night Ghost Stories to have a lecture on communism. No, you probably didn't. But so I'm just having a look to see what the football scores were this evening. Football scores and fixtures. Spurs 2, Man City 2, Nottingham Forest 1, Crystal Palace 1. Right, okay. So tables. Oh my goodness me, we're down to 6th. That's not good enough. 39 points, 49. So we're only 14 points off the top of the table. We're not going to win the league this year. Shall we crack on with the ghost stories? What are we up to? 28 minutes, right. Broadford Hotel. The hotel, which was established in 1611, and is the hotel which was established in 1611, which is about 10 minutes past 4, and is in a fine building in the village overlooking Broadford Bay, is said to be haunted by the apparition of a housekeeper. In some of the rooms, a presence has been reported. The apparition is recorded as being shadowy and ill-defined. Nigel Farage, in other words, like a mist, and the bogle is reported to be looking for its favourite chair. And the bogle is reputed to be looking for its favourite chair. The same ghost, or perhaps another, is also reported to have been spotted on the stair. Other manifestations include the moving of objects such as ladders, chairs, and lamps. After the Battle of Culloden in 1646, Bonnie Prince Charlie was a fugitive from the forces of Butcher Cumberland for some months. He was sheltered on Skye after being helped by Flora MacDonald, and was then aided by the chief of the Mackinnons. As a reward, Charlie gave the chief of that clan the recipe for Drambuie, a whiskey liqueur, although the original recipe apparently should have been for cognac instead of whiskey. This event is believed to have taken place at the hotel. The same ghost, or perhaps another, is also reported to have been spotted on the stair. Shouldn't that be stairs? Shouldn't that be plural, not singular? These are all so beautifully short. Absolutely stunning. Right, half time. Anything? Sorry, I'm just going to clean the cover of this book here for a second. It's a bit sticky because it's got my. Trying to finish that sentence off now. It's got my vodka liqueur on there. What to report today? Not much. I've got. We do still have some. We do still have some cake to eat, so we will certainly have that at half time. No, what to report this week? This week, it's Reg's birthday on Tuesday. In fact, it is Reg's birthday on Tuesday, and it's my good friend Faye's birthday on Tuesday. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, the beer burps at 31 minutes and 54 seconds. So, hopefully, I'll be having a walk with Reg on Wednesday. I'm cat sitting for friend Faye all week. So hopefully we'll see Faye on the Thursday for her birthday, which is on the Tuesday, I know, but bear with. And apart from that, what to report? Oh, yes, last night I paid my personal tax bill last night. So I have to pay tax bills a year, my company tax bill and my personal tax bill, my self-assessment. My self-assessment this year was frankly horrific. But the reason for that, coming up, the reason for that was that we earned extra money so we could pay the mortgage off, which we did last year. So, swings and roundabouts. I'm now mortgage free. But just a honking great big tax bill to pay. But that was all paid off last night. So, and that's pretty much it. So yes, hopefully fingers crossed, a good week of meeting up with friends this week, cracking on with work, finishing off some projects, and quite frankly, trying to stay out of trouble, which is, given what happened 3 years ago, I try to live by that mantra. What's the time, Derps? What are we up to? Just gone 10 o'clock. So what are we having for supper tonight? We're having salad again. There's a surprise. Salad and beans. So cheers, me beard. Salad, beans, and Family Guy. Slide. Oh, that panettone cake is lovely. So let's crack on, shall we? Brodick Castle, standing on a magnificent spot overlooking Brodick Bay and the Firth of Clyde. Brodick Castle, an ancient stronghold, but much extended and remodelled in later centuries, was a property of the Hamiltons for many centuries. The castle has a long and turbulent history, being sacked on several occasions, and it was occupied by Cromwell's troops in the 1650s, which is about 10 minutes to 5. In more peaceful times, extensive additions were made in 1844 by the architect James Gillespie Graham, when the 11th Duke married Princess Marie of Baden. In 1958, Brodick passed to the NTS, which I think is the National Trust of Scotland. Bits of cake all over the place here. A grey lady clad in grey with a large white collar is said to haunt the older part of the castle. Her spirit, possibly that of one of 3 women starved to death in the dungeons around 1700 because they had the plague. Another version is that a servant lass committed suicide at the Old Quay below the castle after becoming pregnant by one of the Cromwellian garrison. Whatever the story, her apparition is said to have been seen many times. The spectre of a man dressed in a green velvet coat and light-coloured breeches has allegedly been witnessed in the 17th century library. A white stag is said to be seen when members of the resident family are near death, and this event has supposedly been recorded several times. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in July 2003 and in February 2005 by Scottish paranormal investigators. Website address. So you say 2003 and 2005. To me, cough it up, Dirt. To me, they are still dates in the future. 23 and 22 years ago, sorry, 23 and 21 years ago. I just can't get my head around that. Cheers, me beers. Oh. Oh. Do you know what, Derps? We are definitely going to be making more apple and blackberry vodka this year. Apple and blackberry gin, apple and blackberry vodka. I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it was apple and blackberry vodka. Apple and blackberry gin. I'm sure it was. Why would I have vodka? I can't stand the stuff. Oh, it was apple and blackberry gin. Right, here we go. Another dead soldier and run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Love that film. Brodie Castle. Brodie Castle, on land held by the Brodie family from 1160, consists of a large 16th century Z-plan tower house with extensive additions. The castle was renovated in 1980 after passing to the National Trust for Scotland, and the garden has a fine daffodil collection. The castle also has a ghost story, possibly regarding Lady Margaret Duff, who was the wife of James Brodie, the then chief. In 1786, she fell asleep in front of the fire. Her clothes were set alight and she burned to death. An apparition of a woman was reported in the nursery room in 1992. Again, the recent past, 34 years ago. Disturbances, including footsteps and other noises coming from a locked study, were also reported on the night that Hugh, 23rd Brodie of Brodie, died in 1889. But nothing has been recorded since then. The skeleton of a small child was found when a turnpike stair from one of the corner turrets was being. The skeleton of a small child was found when a turnpike stair from one of the corner turrets was being renovated. The bones are kept in a glass-fronted cabinet in the charter room. Oh my goodness me! Give it a burial. What's wrong with people? No wonder the place is bloody haunted. Really? Oh, dirt. That's horrible. Anyway, cheers, me beers. That's more like it. That Hatherwood Porter. That's the business. That's the stuff. Cheers, me beers. Right, we are going to shake up the scotch. Is this a... Oh no, I thought it was a... It is a... Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, I'm looking forward to this because I've had this in the front room now for about the last 5 or 6 years, but I've never got around to drinking it. So the beer burps again. Do apologise. Oh, there we go. How uncouth, but I'm from Dudley, so cut me some slack. Brodie's Close, Edinburgh. Brodie's Close, which dates from the 17th century and is on Castle Hill, the Royal Mile. Read that again. Wow. I got the beer burps, the beer hiccups. It all happened in one go there. So anyway, Brodie's Close, which dates from the 17th century and is on Castle Hill, the Royal Mile, is reputedly haunted by the bogle of Deacon William Brodie, whose apparition is said to have been sighted in the close, with a lantern in one hand and a bunch of keys in the other. Brodie became infamous in Edinburgh as, by day, he was a respectable and respected cabinet maker, city councillor, and deacon, president of the Incorporation of Wrights and Masons, while, by night, he was a burglar and thief with 2 mistresses, 5 children, and a gambling habit to maintain. He was exposed after a botched job when one of his accomplices was captured and turned against him. Brodie fled to Holland but was captured and returned to Edinburgh, where he was executed at the Tolbooth in 1788. Brodie's double life is believed to have inspired Robert Louis Stevenson to write The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Stevenson's father had furniture that had been made by Brodie. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, we're going to get to try this honey whiskey now. So what are we up to? 43 minutes. Smells lovely. So in the magnificent United Federation of Planet shot glass, again, God bless you, Kirsten and Steve in the United States. Cheers, my beers. Oh, that's really quite weird. I can't tell whether I'm tasting honey or whiskey. Obviously, I'm tasting both, but that's really quite bizarre. I'm looking forward to the next sip of that. Anyway, Broom Hill. Nothing remains of the mansion of Broom Hill, a property of the Hamiltons from 1473. The house later passed to the McNeill Hamiltons of Raploch, but was demolished after a fire in 1943, which is about 7:45. Broom Hill was reputedly haunted by a black lady seen in both the house and in the policies. The story goes that a beautiful Indian woman, either a servant or a princess, disappeared about 1900, and it is believed that she may have been murdered. She was believed to be the mistress of Captain Henry McNeill Hamilton, who himself died in 1924. The house was featured in a television program, Tonight, with Fife Robertson in the 1960s, when an exorcism was performed. Her ghost, however, is also said to have been witnessed in nearby Applebank Inn. See that entry. Other ghosts in the area include a phantom coach and horses and the apparition of a young lad seen apparently fishing. I'm sorry if you're getting whacked in the face by the book dirt, but you are perched on my lap at an awkward angle. Goodness me, he cannot settle. There is a beautiful cat bed here with a fabulously clean blanket in it, But will he sleep in that? No, he has to perch on my lap. We're going to have a bit more cake, actually, Derps. I say we're going to have a bit more cake. I'm going to have a bit more cake. You're just going to sit there and fidget. What do you do on Sunday night? I tune in to watch ghost stories, but I watched a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head eating panettone cake live on the internet. So Broomhill Hospital, Kirkintilloch. The original house was built as a mansion in the 19th century, but the building was converted into a hospital in 1875 through the generosity of Beatrice Clugston and other philanthropists. Beatrice was the daughter of a wealthy Glasgow industrialist, and she founded the Dorcas Society, which helped poor people who had become ill. I commend her. She died in 1888, and a memorial to her was built in the grounds. The hospital was closed in the 1990s. Surprise. And the buildings became derelict. There are plans to build some 200 houses in the grounds and renovate the house as luxury apartments. Colour me shocked. The hotel is reported to be haunted by a grey lady, said by some to be the phantom of Beatrice Clugston. Stories dating from as early as the 1920s. The bogle is said to have been witnessed on the stairs and in long corridors, and to have been concerned with the welfare of the hospital. Manifestations are said to have intensified when a portrait of Beatrice was stolen from the house in 1994. This was eventually recovered and is now located in the Old Kirk Museum in Kirkintilloch. An alternative identity for the bogle has been given as that of a nurse who died of typhoid in 1912. Other manifestations were recorded, including footsteps coming from an area where nobody was present, doors closing by themselves, and disembodied voices and unexplained sounds. We're going to look her up, Derps, because it's right. So Beatrice. Oh, goodness me. Beatrice Clugston. Goodness me. Right, here we are. Here we have found her on Wikipedia. Let's just share screen. So here she is, Beatrice Clugston. That's got to be the portrait they were talking about. Yeah, that's got to be the painting. Her remarkable talent was in fundraising, where she invited the right people to the right events. Do you know what? I'd never heard of her before I started reading the story tonight, but it strikes me she is the kind of person that I absolutely endorse, and I wish there were more Beatrice Clugstons in this world. So God bless you, Beatrice. We'll toast Beatrice tonight. Cheers, Beatrice. Oh, what a fabulous woman. What an absolutely fabulous lady. Right. Let's have a bit more of the honey scotch. See, you taste it, and you think to yourself, it tastes like honey. You don't know which sensation your senses want to believe. It tastes like honey, but there's this kind of alcoholic kick to it. Okay, then we'll treat it as scotch. Yeah, but it's got the taste of honey. Anyway, oh, is Derp getting up? Derp's finally getting off my lap. Oh my goodness me, I can sit back and relax a bit here. Bruntsfield House. Now part of James Gillespie's school and surrounded by later buildings, Bruntsfield House is a grand Z-plan tower house dating from the 16th century or earlier. Bruntsfield was held by the Lauders, and Sir Alexander Lauder, Provost of Edinburgh, was killed at the... Bruntsfield House was held by the Lauders, and Sir Alexander Lauder, Provost of Edinburgh, was killed at the Battle of Flodden in 1513, which is 3:15. The property was later sold to the Farleys and then went to the Warrenders. In 1880, the house was surrounded by 75 acres of parkland, but in 1935, the property was sold to the city of Edinburgh and was used as the school. James Gillespie's had been located from around 1800 at nearby Rye Christ House, see separate entity, in what is now Gillespie's Crescent. Rye Christ Houses. James Gillespie's was sold to the city of Edinburgh and was used as the school. James Gillespie's has been located from around 1800 at nearby Rye Christ Houses, see separate entry, which is now in what is now Gillespie's Crescent. Oh, we'll get there in the end. Bruntsfield House, especially the upper stories, are said to be haunted by a green lady. The tale goes that the remains of a murdered woman and sometimes her child were found in a secret room which had been sealed up. The room only being discovered when the number of windows on the outside of the building did not match that on the inside. It is said the floor was blood-stained. Ashes were in the grate and a skeleton was later discovered, concealed beneath the floor by the window. The details have some similarities to that of the ghost at Rye Tist Houses. The details have some similarities to the ghost at Rye Chist Houses. WRYCHTISHOUSIS. Richtis Houses. Okay. The details have some similarities to that of the ghost story at Richtis Houses, and the Bogle tale may have come along with the school to Bruntsfield. Green ladies, however, are not uncommon. Any green ladies watching tonight, do apologise. I'm sure you're very, very singular and rare, and I wouldn't want to upset any green ladies. What do you reckon, Derp? Should we upset? No, we're not going to upset green ladies. Cheers. He's looking at me at the moment. He's there on the floor, and he's looking at me, and he's thinking, when can I effect a dramatic leap up onto the desk here and walk across the MacBook? No. Cheers, me beard. Oh. All that's weird stuff that I know what it wants to taste like, but anyway, Buckley Arms Hotel, St. Boswell's. Standing beside the green in the pleasant village of St. Boswell's, the Buckley Arms Hotel was built by the 5th Duke of Buckley to accommodate his friends and guests when he was hunting in the Borders, and hence the name of the hotel. The Buckley Arms is now a fine and welcoming establishment. Oh, the beer burps again, do apologise. The building is said to be haunted by a ghost known as Peter, believed to be the last man hanged in Jedburgh sometime in the 1950s, although the bogle is said to be mischievous rather than frightening. His apparition has been reportedly been seen on several occasions, including at Hogmanay in 2005, and other activity is reputedly the hide. Again, his apparition has been reportedly. That should be his apparition has reportedly been seen on several occasions, or his apparition has been reportedly seen on several occasions. Derp, you're in the way. Not his apparition has been reportedly been seen on several occasions, including Hogmanay 2005, and other activity is reputedly the hiding and moving of objects. That could be this house. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in February 2008 by the Borders Paranormal Group. Website address. I think we're going to wrap it up in a minute, Derps. What are we up to? 22:27. Yeah, I think it's getting time to have some supper. Oh, smashed. I really should like this, but it just tastes a bit chemically. Yeah, I thought I'd really, really like that, but put that on the floor actually. Oh, up to 59. Yeah, I think this is going to be amongst the last ones for tonight. So Buchanan Castle, a huge, impressive castellated ruin dating from the 1850s, incorporates an old castle. As the name suggests, it was held by the Buchanans, but the property passed to the Grahams of Montrose in 1682. The property was finally sold in 1925, and the building was used as a hotel and then as a military hospital during World War II. Rudolf Hess, Hitler's deputy, was treated here after flying to Scotland in 1941. The building was unroofed in the 1950s to avoid paying taxes, and is a consolidated ruin. A golf course occupies much of the formerly landscaped grounds, which had been remodeled by Capability Brown. Buchanan is reputed to be haunted. Manifestations are said to consist of an unnerving gasping sound heard during summer nights. That may not be ghosts. Anyway, right. We are through the hour mark, Derps, and we are going to wrap it up pretty much now. So we're going to go downstairs and have some supper. So cheers, me beers. Oh, I know what we're going to look up. Cheers. We were going to look up not enclosures. What was the word we were looking for? I'm trying to remember what that word was. It was. What do you do on Sunday night? I tuned in to watch Sunday Night Ghost Stories, but he got stuck because he was trying to remember that word. Not enclosures. Bear with. So it was really annoying that. No, it will come to me. It will come to me as soon as we finish the show tonight. It was it enclosures? Bear with. No, I can't find it. Well, we'll find it as soon as the show's over. But anyway, last one for tonight. Buckholm Tower. Buckholm, a ruinous tower house built by the Pringles in the 16th century, has a gruesome story associated with it. During the covenanting troubles of the late 17th century, the laird of the time was a cruel man and spent his time persecuting those attending illegal conventicles. That's a good word. The open-air services of Covenanters. Pringle captured several Covenanters, took them back to the dungeons at Buckholm, and there impaled them on hooks hanging from the ceiling. The hooks are still said to ooze ghostly blood and to move by themselves. Pringle, however, was cursed by the wife of one of his victims and afterwards lived in great terror, as if pursued by ghostly hounds. Pringle's ghost has reputedly been seen running from a pack of dogs on the anniversary of his death, and screams and cries are supposedly heard coming from the dungeon of the tower on occasion. Paranormal investigations were undertaken by Spectre, www.freewebs.com www.freewebs.com/UK Spectre. Policies. That's the word I was looking for. So policies. Policies policies, Scottish meaning. In Scottish usage, policies, often used in the plural, refers to the enclosed, cultivated grounds, gardens, and parklands surrounding a large country house or mansion. It describes the landscaped ornamental area of a landed estate, often including trees, lawns, and drives. There we go. Not a big fan of AI, but God bless you, Google AI. So last one for tonight. This is the last one for tonight. So, and it's a short one, aren't they all, ladies? So cheers, me beers. And Derp's perched just behind the MacBook here. So Buckland Glen. So let's just get the Buckland Glen. The glen is said to be haunted by a headless white lady, witnessed near a bridge over the Buckland Burn. The story goes that the woman was murdered by robbers in the glen and that her ghost then returned, possibly to sometimes help those travellers in the area avoid a similar fate to her own. That'll be it for tonight. Oh my goodness me. That is a cracking book. God bless you. Martin Coventry. What a banging book. So cheers, me beers. Oh, slange me Bart. Oh, I can't get used to the taste of that. That's weird. I'm not saying it's distressing, but we're taking that bottle back downstairs and putting it back on the Welsh dresser where it can sit until an emergency. So anyway, that's it for tonight. God bless you for tuning in. Fingers crossed, we'll be back for more of this nonsense. I mean, more of this quality entertainment on Wednesday when we do Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra on a Wednesday. So until then, from myself and Derps, who's hiding behind the MacBook here, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why? Why not? What else are you going to do on a Sunday night than watch a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, drink ghost stories, and read alcohol? Oh, the beer burps again. So yes, what else are you going to do? You're lacking in imagination, as am I. But there we go. So until the next time, as ever, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Please don't have nightmares. Good night.